What's up, everybody? I'm George Mossey. This is the George Mossey Show, and I'm here with Gina. And I know we've been MIA. I just posted on my story. Somebody swiped up on my story and said that I hadn't recorded a podcast in almost a month. Gina, can you
I
believe
brought it up to you too. I'm like, we need to record something.
we do, right? And guys, it's me. It's not Gina. It's not anybody else. It's me. I've been busy, and I'm not gonna lie, I've just not been like recording. Like there's no actual excuse. And actually, we have to record another of the medium session podcast this week, and I haven't even talked to Juliana. She's been messaging me and I haven't gotten back to her. So that's coming as well, don't worry. And we're gonna be talking about actually, Gina, that missing boy that we were talking about last week. The Canadian one. We're gonna be talking
Yes.
that on the next episode, and she has some information that she wants to share, and we're going to be reaching out to the family. They have the decision of being involved or not being involved, but we do want to give them that option. But anyway, we're talking about
Yeah.
season 8 of 90 Day Fiance, before the 90 days, and it's all new couples. um I want to get some reactions out of you, right? Because we met Forrest and Sheena, and hold on, I have a list. Rick and what's her name?
Emma,
Emma. And there's another one.
Laura.
Laura. Yeah. So do you have a favorite so far? Because I've become obsessed with someone. So I wanted to know like where you stand on that.
Um, I don't have a favorite right now. They all seem like screws are not all in place in their head right now. But I do like the fact that it's not r- new journeys and new people and just
Say it.
new.
You can
It's
say it.
not recycled.
You can say that there's no Jasmine, there's no Darcy, there's no Rob. You can say it. It's okay. There's
Yeah, I like new people. I like fresh blood.
I like the idea of a new storyline, not a recycled or reused storyline. Like, when you go to the car lot and you're buying a new car, and there's a shiny, beautiful new car and it catches your eye. And then they're like, oh, well, we also have like a 5-year-old model that's cheaper. And you're like, it's not as shiny. That's kind of how I feel, right? Like, I want a new model, right? Like, fresh off the press. So that's kind of what we got here. So I think it starts.
Really, I do have a favorite. I do have a favorite, and she's not even she's like a supporting character.
So, wait, you have a favorite? Who's your favorite?
Her, Emma's sister Izzy.
Oh, her twin sister.
Yeah,
They're twins, by the way. And it's funny because, in my opinion, they don't look alike, but they're both very pretty girls, though. Like, I'll give them that. They're very pretty. And I do like her sister. And the guy who was on the show, on this scenes with them, was that their brother? Or
that's their brother.
yeah, so
That's the
it was like
brother.
a whole family thing. So I was kind of like enamored by that. I was like, oh, they got the whole family involved, which is kind of cute. They're like the sisters encouraging. And my favorite part, actually, since you brought up Emma's sister, was when Emma sold her sister for a free checked bag at the airport. I was like, you can't really be prostituting your sister out for a free checked bag. That is only like $38. Like, that would make her the cheapest hooker in Vegas. Like, if you're gonna pimp your sister out and give some random dude her phone number, it should be like for a full round trip ticket, right, Gina?
No, it should be for first class.
Well, yeah, a full first class round trip ticket because don't be whoring me out for $38, Gina. Like, come on, I'm worth a little more than that.
But she had a total of like 3 to 4 luggages.
I mean, yeah, but that's to be expected when you're going overseas. You remember Darcy? Darcy takes like 14 luggage bags with her when she goes.
I can't. I can't. I can only justify taking one.
How? One bag isn't enough
Ugh.
going overseas. I can't even take one bag for the weekend. Like, I needed 2 or 3 bags. Like, when I was
Oh no.
in ATL, I needed like 3 bags. And I still didn't have enough stuff. I had to go buy a shirt. Like, because I still didn't have enough stuff. I couldn't fit it all in the bag.
No, my luggage is pretty big and light, so most when I go to check it in, most check-in agents think that it's going to be overweight due to the size of the luggage because it's so big, and then they're like, "Oh, dang, we're wrong." So, Yeah, okay, I'll keep my luggage. This time when I went, because I only went for 5 days in Denmark, I got a smaller check luggage, which
Well,
was like 11 pounds, 12 pounds. It was didn't even
that's
meet the limit.
that's not an option for me. Smaller is not going to be an option. Like if anything, bigger luggage. So, and sometimes I'll go on a trip and I'll have to come back with luggage I didn't leave with because I brought stuff back. So yeah, downsizing is not an option for me. So, but yeah, I want to talk about Forrest because we started the show with Forrest and he's the guy
Yes.
that has the cameras all over his house and he's also a virgin. And his mom took him to a sex shop. So it was a very complex beginning episode because it was like a roller coaster. Like we were going up and down, upside down. It was crazy, right? So we started out with him cooking with her watching him. Like, and they have the cameras that you can talk to each other, which I have those in my house too. Like it's cool. I have a cat, so when I'm not home and I see him like trying to destroy something, I'll be like, hey, stop that. But I totally get that. I get that. And
But that's a pet cam, and it's not all around. It's like he's living in a prison.
don't know if that's accurate. I mean, yes, I mean, yes, prisons have cameras everywhere and they're watching you. But they're using it as like how to be and together, I guess, without being together. But he also said something really odd. He was like, they use the cameras to be intimate. So what does that mean? Like, I don't, do I want to know? Maybe I don't want to know. But what does that
You want to know? We don't want to get kicked off the spot. If we don't want to get kicked
Oh,
off.
right. 'Cause I was like, how does that work? Because you're not there. But I guess people virtual chat and they do
Hmm.
stuff. See, Gina, I'm gonna be 100% like real with you. I'm not like into that. Like I'm a real in real life guy. Like it's if it's not like in real life, it's not really happening for me. It's like the people that can like FaceTime and stuff like I don't know, like that's not for me. And I'm not saying that it doesn't work for other people because I don't know if it does or it doesn't. Some people say that it does, but it I don't know, like looking at your phone or looking at the screen, that doesn't necessarily it's not real for me. But at the same time, Forrest and Sheena are both virgins, so they don't really know what they're missing because they didn't. You can't know if something is good or bad if you've never had it, right? So they think that this is great because this is the only thing that they've done. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Forrest has ADHD and he's I think mildly autistic. So that explains some of the behaviors. But the
Hmm.
idea that the mom takes him to the sex shop, I don't know how to explain that behavior because that's not something my mom ever did, right? Like, and I don't think mom should do that ever, right? Like, she
No.
adult son to the sex shop and then recommend what he should buy. Like, that's a little much for me. There's lines that I don't want crossed. That's definitely one of the lines I don't want crossed.
Exactly. I was just like, oh my God, no, 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 please, no, stop, make it stop, make it stop. I was just like, I wonder if he has any, like, because of the fact he was bamboozled by someone in Indonesia, now Sheena in the Philippines. I'm wondering if the only communication that he has outside of family members is the outside world or not the outside world, like the virtual world.
Oh, so you like maybe he doesn't have like friends that he hangs out with regularly in person. Well,
Yeah.
so there were some questions that I had, you know me. So when I was watching the episode, we were going through the complexity of his storyline, and they're like, "Oh, well, Sheena had a bank account and she was saving money to build their life together, and then her parents emptied the account twice." So I had a question though, because I was like, because Forrest's mom was pissed that the mom and dad of Sheena took the money. And I was like, but did he actually send any money to put into the account, or was it all her money? Like, because technically, you know, in those countries, your money is your parents' money because you're
Hmm.
always responsible for your parents. Like your parents raise you, and then when you get old enough, you take care of them. That's
Care of them.
culture. So I was like, if that was Sheena's money, they were fully entitled to her money because that's her culture. Them taking her money is not because Forrest's mom was like, well, I don't trust her because I think she's a scammer because her parents took the money. And I was like, well, if it was her money, how does that make her a scammer? because her parents are entitled to her money, like in Indonesia, especially, and in those countries, when your parents get older, you take care of them for the rest of their lives. You know how in America, if your parents get old, you'll send them to a nursing home? They don't.
Yeah, I think it's a cultural thing. It depends on like the culture of the person. And I know for us, like for me personally, I would never consider putting my parents in a home, right? So
Well,
like
my
I would
mom.
unless it was like worst case situation where I can't take care of them anymore and they have like dementia, then that's obviously something a little bit different and more complex, right? But for the time being, like absolutely not. If
Well, I don't know. My mom lived independently up until the day, she left the world. But if my dad needed to go to a nursing home, I don't care. I,
Well, yeah, that's because you have a different relationship with
yeah,
both
I
parents,
I
right?
like
So,
if he needed a kidney,
mm.
he wouldn't get a kidney from me. Like I'm just gonna be real with you, Gina. Like for real and everything. Like if he was going to a nursing home and the only other place he could go was my house, he would go to a nursing home. But that, like you said, him and I's relationship was never strong enough to get like anything out of me anyway. I said I was gonna get a tattoo, and the tattoo was gonna go on my wrist, and it was gonna be of all the things my dad did for me, and I got the tattoo. And do you know what the tattoo is, Gina?
It's your skin color, it's blank.
It's blank. Exactly, because he's never done anything for me. So yeah, I totally understand, for my mom if she but well she was independent till the day, but if she ever was to go anywhere, I would have took care of her till the end. Like and I would fight my brother and sister to keep her. Like that would have been me. Like that's how much I loved her. But yeah, I totally understand. But if that was her money and the parents took the money, I'm trying to figure out how they're holding that against her, because if they wanted to start a life together, why wasn't Forrest actually saving some? Like, if she had a bank account to save money, why wasn't he saving money too? Like, it always helps when two people are trying to build a life together than one person.
Well, it could also be I don't understand like I'm sure more to the story will unfold as time goes as the weeks go by type of thing like
Well,
that.
we
So
know that
what
people working in Indonesia aren't going to be able to make a whole bunch of money to send to.
she's not in Indonesia, she's in the Philippines.
Oh, that's right. She's in the Philippines. Indonesia is the place where the first girl is that scammed him.
Exactly.
Yeah, so she's in the Philippines, but still, the Philippines doesn't have like a super high salary career
No.
over there either. It's really hard for you to get ahead. So when she was working and saving money, I was like, well, it would be a much easier if he was contributing, because in America, our dollar goes up much farther than the dollars in the Philippines. So it would have been more helpful. But they didn't really say he sent any money to her, because they kept saying, oh, they used all the money and the parents took all the money, but they didn't say if it was any of his or not, which I thought, since the omission of that statement, it makes me believe it wasn't any of his money in the first place.
Well, here's the thing what I think. I think he contributed to it because then I responded to your tweet with, well, why would the mom care? Right? Why would his mom care if his money wasn't put into that account?
But she never said it was. Like,
Exactly. That's why I'm saying, like, I don't think, like, that's what I think that some of he contributed to that amount as well. Because if it was just her money, then Sheena was putting into the bank account. Why would his mom care at the end of the day? That's her,
I
like,
mean,
that's their money, right? Or her money.
maybe she thought it was their money because they were together, but it was really just her money. I don't know. You know how
Exactly.
moms are. There's moms out there who think that their children are just angels, even though their children are not angels. So like
Hmm.
she's probably gonna be like, oh, she screwed over my son, and her son probably wasn't even helping, because that's how moms are, and moms tend to let their sons get away with murder. Gina, like they can literally do nothing wrong, and then it's always the woman's fault. That's how certain.
Yeah, unfortunately, I know that, and like having siblings that are both brothers, yeah, I know that they can do no wrong, and well, here I am. So yeah.
Right. So I don't know. The fact that they never said it was his money, I was like, that wasn't even his money anyway. But I want to talk about Shekinah 2.0. So we got Emma this season, and she's basically Shekinah, but a little different. A
Well,
different way.
people are calling her like the Timu Kardashian.
No, that's too nice and generous. She's like Shekinah, but with a bad wig. Like a woman.
Timo.
Yeah, like
Timu.
like she's definitely nowhere near a Kardashian level. Like that's ridiculously generous. But she's got this weird, strange, like hair store wig that she's wearing on the season. And she's actually dating a 27-year-old. Which and she's 27, which never happens on this show. So she's dating someone that's her own age. But her thing is she's into Moroccan men, which we've actually met a lot of people on the show that were into Moroccan men. I'm pretty sure that Nicole and Azan, I'm pretty sure Azan was Moroccan, wasn't he? He was from Morocco, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of women have that fetish, but her thing is a little different because she dated a Moroccan and it didn't work out. His name was Mohammed, and then there's an overlap. So Gina, the overlap means that you were dating both people at the same.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious if she got pregnant and Maury was still on, and then it'd be like, "Who my baby daddy?" And you have to bring both of them on.
Well, luckily she did not, but she was dating both of them at the same time, and then she thought thing. So here's the thing: she said that Muhammad was talking to other women, so she went on his social media and messaged all of the women that he followed, and she said that he was like in a relationship with like 20 other women. How is that
Hmm.
even possible? Like for real, I'm just gonna be really realistic here. I can barely remember to keep up with everyday basic tasks. How would you remember to keep up with 20 different women on a daily basis? Because you can't because women, you have to call, you have to text, you have to show that you care, you have to be present. So how do you even have the time to do all that? Like, because
Scammers 101. You took a Scammer 101 course.
But Gina, how would you even remember what to say to each woman? Because you have to it's personalized. You can't just send the same text 20 times. You have
You
to.
have a notebook and like with all the information of what you've discussed.
Doesn't that seem like a lot of work? Doesn't it seem like a lot of work? Like because you have to study these people, you have to study what they're doing and what they like, what they don't like, and things. Because you can, if you're texting with someone that you know really well, you know what they would say. Because if someone texts, like here's the thing, Gina, I'm a weirdo. So if one of my friends is texting me and I read it, I know if it's them or not because I know, like, for instance, say one of my friends is texting me, but it's not them, it's somebody else texting for them because they're busy. I can tell that they're not texting me because I know people so well. I can hear them talking through the text. So like if you were texting me, Gina, but you were like occupied, so you had like your cousin texting me, I would be able to tell. Like I would know that it's not you
Oh,
because
I know
that's how psycho.
because like the way someone speaks or the way like the messages transpiring going back and forth or whatnot. Yeah, definitely. I can definitely tell, right? So like because it depends on the language of the person as well, right? Like when my friend's driving, I've had to message her cousin or whatever, her niece, and she knew right away it wasn't just how I was like writing out the text. She knew right away that's not the way her aunt spoke to her type of thing.
Well, right. So that's what I'm saying. Like this guy Muhammad had to be really good to keep up 20 different relationships at once because people can tell when you're not genuine. And when you build a rapport with someone, they kind of know how you talk, how you respond, what you would and wouldn't say. So, I mean, if I tried to date 20 women at once, they would figure me out immediately. Right? Like
Mm.
immediately I would fail because I just would not have the recollection to remember what each person is interested in and wants to talk about and what the conversation would be, and they would immediately know that I was wasting their time and I would immediately be dumped. So it does take a lot of skill to do that. And I'm impressed that he was able to do that because I don't have it in me. But so Emma's with this second guy. Help me out. Zayed. What?
No, Zayed is with Emma.
Yeah, Emma's
His
with.
name is Bothan, Rothan, something like that. Hold on. It's gonna bother me now.
Wait, so Emma's
But
boyfriend's name is what?
I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Zied, right? I'm pretty sure it's Zied. It's like, remember
I,
Rebecca? She had a Zied. I think it's Zied. And he's a Muslim guy. And it's a typical storyline, right? Because I remember him saying when she asked if there was going to be any issues when she got there with public affection, and he said no. And then
His name is Burkan.
no, Birkin is the guy with
Laura.
Laura. The guy with
And
is Zied.
yes, that's correct. Sorry, I was just getting them confused.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about beer can a little later. I call him beer can. Actually, I stole that from Captain. Captain was tweeting about it, and she called him beer can, and it stuck. So I was like, I like that. I'm stealing that. So yeah, Emma and Zied are meeting for the first time on this episode, and he immediately started with the "You need to respect my authority as a Muslim." He started like almost immediately, like you have to respect my religion and you have to, and it's funny because they all use the same tactic. They tell the American girl, oh, there's no big deal. You can do whatever you want. You can dress how you want. You can kiss me in public. And then when they get on their territory, their turf, they,
But here's the thing, she's been to Morocco before. She should have already known what most of the expectations are. What the hell was she wearing when she like left the plane? Like it looked like my mom had curtains like that in the 70s.
oh, you mean the red thing that she was wearing?
Yeah, and like
Oh,
people were looking at her, like staring at her.
well, yeah, I don't know why she wore that. Also, I forgot to mention she brought a dress with her that her ex Muhammad's mother made. And she was
Yeah,
that.
like wouldn't they be like, That looks like, where'd you get that from? That like like that print looks like you got it from here or somewhere in the like Middle East, like Morocco, Jordan, or whatnot. Like, where'd you get that from?
Well, she's gonna have to eventually tell Zied that she's been there before and dated a man there before. I mean, probably not. It's not gonna be a good, pleasant conversation to have. When you find out that you're part of a sex tourist scheme. It's probably not gonna make you feel good because you think that someone likes you because they like you, but they actually like you because you're Moroccan. It's not gonna make you feel like 100% confident in yourself, right?
You know what would be the cherry on the top, which I would be like, oh my God. And I replied to your tweet on that. If they were related or cousins somehow, her ex and the Saeed guy, I would die. I'd be like, I'm done. I'm dead. Like I'm gone.
I think Morocco's a small country, right? I feel like,
No, I don't think it's a small country, but I'd be like, this is the type of shit that I signed up for. This is the type of stuff that I want to see. I want to see freaking Messi, and that's it.
I would like to see that. Like, so when she, like his mom and his family, the ex would be there. That would be really messy and be like, oh, so now you're marrying my cousin after, I would watch it. It's the type of, remember back in the day, there was a show called, it's not Sally Jesse Raphael, it was the other one.
Ricky Lake.
Lake. That's a Ricky Lake show storyline, right? You remember Ricky Lake. I don't want to age myself, but if you know who Ricky Lake is, that's the type of stuff she would have on her show. Somebody dating somebody's cousin. That was a Ricky Lake storyline. And I would definitely love to see the look on everybody's face when she shows up to the family reunion and she's been through half the family. Like, I would definitely love to.
But we like I highly doubt it, but it would make for great TV if it was true.
Yeah. And if, we don't know yet. We don't know if it's true or not. Oh, so this Michael and Laura storyline. So it's a throuple. Okay. So let's get into this throuple. So there's a chick named Laura. She's a teacher. I want to say an English teacher, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, an English grade 5 teacher.
Okay. Yeah. She's a grade five English teacher and she has kind of a boyfriend named Michael, like, except they don't sleep together, but they do everything else together, literally, like eat together, watch movies together, go places together. It's like a relationship, but it's not. And it got a little complicated because I thought it was one of those.
Friends without the benefits.
Well, right, but you know how women will have the perfect man right in front of them and they will not want that man because they want someone who's going to treat them horrifically. So I thought it was one of those situations, but in actuality, it's not. Actually, Laura wanted to have a relationship with Michael, but Michael was the one that acted like he didn't want to be with her. Then it turns out it's because he's insecure because he was born with a birth defect
You
Um,
know what? I responded to your tweet. I didn't even notice the birth defect until like way later in the whole like
oh,
uh,
really?
yeah. I
Oh,
didn't even notice it right away.
well, way to make me feel like a bad human being. I noticed it almost straight away. So yeah, I'm a horrible person.
Well, at first I was just like, oh, maybe it's the angle or anything, but and then I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
he does have something like that. It didn't cross my mind just because I was more paying attention more to the storyline versus what they look like, type of thing like that in this case. So,
Well, I noticed it right away, so I'm a bad person. So I did notice it, and he said that he felt like going to that place with his best friend would lead to rejection. And he said it was sad to hear. He was like, I'm so
it
used to
was, it was, it kind of broke my heart. Like, oh, this is like sad. I'm like that you like, and maybe that's the thing. They have such a strong bond with each other as friendship. If anything was to happen, like they broke up, like they wouldn't have that friendship. They possibly wouldn't have that friendship anymore. And is it worth losing like the friendship?
Yeah, and I can see where the dilemma was because they do everything together. They go to the gym together, they play sports together, they play tennis together, they watch movies together, they cook together, they eat together, and at just risking the one aspect of adding the intimacy to all the already a perfect relationship didn't the risk didn't outweigh the reward. So I understood why. But Laura saw that as a rejection in her direction. So she was like, well, if he doesn't want to move forward with me, I'm going to go look for somebody. And then that's where she met Beer Can. And he's kind of the opposite of Michael. So it kind of makes me feel like it wouldn't have worked out with her and Michael anyway, because he's everything that Michael's not, right? Because she said that he has a bad boy exterior. And I think a lot of women fall into that trap of somebody who goes against the grain, who's not going to open the door for you, who's going to ride a motorcycle, who if you text him, he's not going to text you back. You know, like they fall for that type of guy and I feel like it's a trap. Like it's a persona. If anything, you should get somebody who can act like that when you want them to, but then act like a decent human being also. Because I think women fall into that trap of, oh, it's nice if a guy's, has that persona, but it's probably not fun 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't want to be treated like shit all the time, just every now and then. Because I'm into that. I like to be treated like shit every now and then, but not every single day.
Exactly. So, like, and like a lot of women will like the bad boy type of man, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a trap. Oh, so he's 26 years old. How old was Laura, by the way? I don't remember. She was older. Was she like how old?
Hold on, let me find out here.
And
But
beer.
funny story, while I look up her age real quick. She legit looks like a younger version of my high school English teacher. And I posted it on our group chat with 90 Day Fiance Fridays. So when we're discussing this episode um, on the 90 Day Fiance Friday podcast, I will be posting a picture on Patreon of what my high school teacher looked like.
Wait, I'm scrolling up. I'm scrolling up to the group chat. Oh my God, really? She does look like your high school teacher. That's weird. Yeah, just a little younger, but yeah. So
Right?
do all English teachers look like this? Is this like a
I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, wait a second. That's how I remembered. She was an English teacher, but different grades. And that's how I remembered because I'm like, I was trying to figure out, I'm like, where does this chick look so familiar? Right? Like she's from Washington State. She's from Vancouver, Washington, not where I'm from, but but it's pretty close. But I was just like, oh, hold on a second. What? Wait, what? Where does she look so familiar from? And then it came to me. She looks like one of my high school English teachers.
I'm trying to think back what my high school English teacher looked like. And now that I'm thinking about it, I went to two different high schools. So for ninth and 10th grade, I went to one in Louisiana. And then for 10th or 11th and 12th, I went to a school in Ohio. I'm pretty sure my English teacher in Ohio was a man, but I believe my English teacher in Louisiana in high school was a woman. And if I'm not mistaken, she was a lesbian. She had like the bowl cut. And she wore pants. But you know what, Gina? I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if she was like legit a lesbian because I went to a Christian school. You weren't exactly allowed to ask or say anything like that.
Hmm.
She just dressed like one. So like at the end of the day, I don't know if that's true or not because I'm pretty sure if she ever said she was, they would have fired her because they didn't allow that.
Yeah.
That's
You know what? You went to a Christian school. I went to a religious private school as well. And we had one as well. We had a
yeah,
but
but they could,
obviously can't say anything.
yeah,
But we knew, we all knew.
it's an unspoken thing. We knew what was going on, but at the end of the day, we couldn't talk about it because it was a
Exactly. Exactly. So Laura's 47
oh,
and Beer Can is 26.
and he works in a cafe. That's what I caught on the thing. So he works in a cafe and he's a bad boy. So, it sounds like the makings of a divorce. Right? I mean, that's what a divorce usually sounds like. A 26-year-old that's marrying a 47-year-old and he works as a barista. That's normally what a divorce sounds like during the proceedings. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see if they actually click or not because I know that the twist in this particular storyline is Laura is bringing Michael with her
What
to
is with people bringing other people with, like, traveling with them?
you remember who was it? Somebody else did this on a season and it's slipping my mind. They brought their ex with them to meet their new person. Oh my God, who was it? Help me, Gina. We were watching the season and the girl, wait, I think it was the girl from Orlando. Wasn't it? She was with the guy. I don't remember her name, but she was with Orlando. She was in Orlando. Um, it
I
was
was gonna say if it was Tim, but I don't think it was Tim.
no, it wasn't the girl that was with Bozo because she was from Orlando. It was the other girl. Um, oh man, I can't remember her name. This is so embarrassing because it wasn't even that long ago. But she went to her
Vea?
Zaya. Wait, say it again. What was her name?
Vea?
That was her. Vea. She brought her ex-boyfriend with her to meet the guy, and he blew up, right? Remember?
Honey. Yeah.
Sunny. And now we have Laura, who is bringing Michael, who's not necessarily her ex-boyfriend or anything, but he's a best friend, which, Muslim men don't particularly like their women, associating and hanging around other men. They feel like, remember Adnan? He said that even
Yes, I was about to say, no, whether the Tiger Puff's like hair crew, makeup or whatever was gay, it didn't matter to him. He still didn't
he was
want, yeah.
you have the right equipment, so you can't be around her. So I'm imagining that this situation is going to blow up because I don't know what it is with Muslim men, but they don't want other men around their women. So I'm assuming even though this guy's not a threat because Laura basically friend zoned him because he said he wasn't interested, he's gonna make a big deal about it. And it's like of all the people in the world that you can bring a girl. Like if you know that you're going to meet a Muslim man, don't bring another man with you. You're just gonna agitate him. Like don't agitate people. You know the saying "Don't poke the bear." In Florida, it's don't poke the alligator.
Poke the alligator. Yeah, I was gonna say in Florida it would be.
Right. If the alligator is just laying on the ground and it's not eating you, what would provoke you to poke it? Right? Like why would you know that it's going to cause a problem so you bring something there to agitate the person. So I feel like this is going to be a huge blow up because in the history of this show, anytime that a Muslim man encounters another man who's too close to his wife or fiance or girlfriend, he gets really agitated. So I'm assuming that's going to be the same situation.
Hmm.
All right, so there was another guy this season, and his name was what was his name? Rick.
Rick. Yeah.
And let me just say something, Gina. You know how I gave Dylan a really hard time for looking old? I don't want to say old. I said old. Um, So Rick is 52 years old, but he doesn't look 52 years old. Dude looks really young. So I was gonna give him a little props for that because everyone said that I'm a old shamer. But I'm just gonna say this guy's 52, he looks 42. And he
You're ageist?
yeah, so I'm ageist. Yeah, they're saying but I'm not. I just call it like I see it. If you look older, I'm gonna say that. But also if you look younger, I'm gonna say that. I don't discriminate. It just tends to be people tend to look older. It's not my fault, right? It's not my fault. It's just how the cookie breaks in half. But this guy, Rick, has two baby kids, like they're little, right? Like small. And then he has three.
Two small children and two adult children, or three
But
adult children.
if you watch the season closely, when the girl that he was with, which her name was Trish, she said that she wanted to have a couple kids. He said to Trish, I already have five kids. So I know that the story broke last night or the night before. One of the show sites, I think Starcasm maybe, posted that Rick did lose a child when it was 2 years old. So I don't know if he was
Hmm.
to his child because just because that child passed away doesn't mean you don't have a child. That child is still in your heart. So I don't know if he was referring to that child or if he actually has five living children. But we don't know because he said two adult children and two young children, so he could be counting the one that unfortunately passed away. But at his age, like at 52 years old, and you already have two little kids, having more kids, wouldn't you be raising kids until you were like 85? Like I feel like at some point, you're too old to have kids, right? Right?
Well, my parents had me when they were 39, and back then that was like unheard of.
Oh, that's crazy. Why did they want to start over? Like, in my mind, if you have adult children, the idea of having another child now is like backsliding, because
Well,
you've already accomplished.
may I remind you, I was an accident, so I was not meant to happen.
Wait, you were unplanned. You were an unplanned.
Yes. Well, yeah, because my siblings and I were like 10 and 13 years apart.
Well, Gina, I don't know if you knew this about you and I. I was an unplanned pregnancy. I don't like to say accident. I don't know. It's kind of hurtful. It's kind of hurtful. But I was most definitely an unplanned pregnancy. My mom was 30 years old and she had two kids already, a boy and a girl, which was all she wanted. And then I came along, I think 5 or 6 years later, but I became the most, I was the favorite, but I was not planned. And shortly after I was born, their marriage had already deteriorated. So I was not supposed to be there. So, but you never know, if that child is going to be the gift to the family or not. Cause I was definitely the gift to the family. And Gina, you were the gift to the family. So that's what we have. The family didn't.
I don't know about that.
Well, I was definitely the gift to the family. When I was born, the family was complete. Like they could start, the what do you call it? The paperwork. Like once I was there, things were ready to go.
Yeah, not in my case. So
Well, I don't know. Rick said that he doesn't really want to have more kids. Oh, so I forgot to mention Trish lives in Madagascar, which Gina helped me. This is in Africa, right? Like I just want to
hmm.
so I believed that it was, but you know how I am with geography. Was never my strong point. I'm really good at like geography, like the US. Like I knew all the states and the capitals and then South America, but like other parts of the globe, I never really knew where the places were. Like Gina, I think you told me that, wait, you told me something that I didn't know. Like if I flew to Australia, didn't you say it was quicker if I flew from one side of the world or the country or another? I think you told me something that I
Yeah, no, I told you because for you it would take like 2 days or to get there to Australia, or a day and a half to get there. Yeah, no, 2 days. It was like 27 hours. And then from where I live, it takes like 13 hours.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that. For some reason, I thought Australia was closer to me.
Mm,
How much I don't know geography. Because I was just, but you remember, I didn't realize that Canada stretched all the way over by Washington.
mm,
Like, I'm not a geography person. It's funny because I've traveled
mm.
all over
Oh,
the world.
but we're above the United States.
Oh yeah, but I didn't know you were like fully above it. Like, cause when I lived in Cleveland, I could see the Canadian border across the lake, downtown Cleveland. So, and then
Yeah.
in Detroit, I would drive through the little tunnel and I'll be in Canada. I didn't realize that Canada was like the same size as the US. I thought it was a small country because there's so few people there. I just assumed it wasn't that big. I didn't realize it was a massive freaking country.
Oh, you're hilarious. No,
I
it's
didn't pay.
like
Tia,
you've
I'm
seen the map, right? You've seen the map since then, right?
I was born extremely cute, so I didn't have to be extremely smart. Okay. I'm just gonna put it out there. Like I got by through the skin of my teeth and looks half the time. I was not the sharpest tool in the shed. Okay. Like I'm not, I
I,
admit that.
I I wasn't either. I was not the sharpest tool in the shed. I am now more clever than before. I was not a very studious person. I was just like, oh, forget that noise. But now I'm like super diligent. Like I'm like, when the heck did this change? I'm like, but okay, here we are. It's changing. But I was not a studious person. You know, like like the only time I made the honor roll is when I actually graduated from high school, and I'm like, what can I do? I would be hustling my teachers.
Are
So
you
so
serious?
far my grade is a B. What can I do to make my grade an A? What extra credit can I do?
Well, I was on the honor roll all of school. Well, my mom, she was like a crazy person. So like she told me that I had to make A's because anything below an A made me an average person. And she said that she didn't birth average people. So I wasn't allowed to like, oh my gosh, I remember one time I got a C and she beat me until I bled. Like it wasn't really like an option for me to be average. Like I had to be, there was like an A. If I didn't get an A plus, my mom was like, oh, so you just got an A. So you probably didn't study that hard. Like that was my household. Like it wasn't like, oh my gosh, you got an A. You did. It was, well, if you would have studied harder, you would have got an A plus. Like that's kind of how my life was. So when I graduated I was a valedictorian. Is that what you call it? A valedictorian?
Valedictorian.
I had the little gold thing on my robe because, if I didn't, my mom would have said that I didn't work hard enough. And I strive to impress her, which was not easy, Gina. It was not easy at all. My mom had a
Well,
mad.
your mom was also an educator as well. Like mine weren't. They like the most education they had back in Portugal was a fourth or fifth grade education.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah. I was pushed very far. And
And like so obviously they didn't know social studies. They didn't know like how to like teach me stuff if they didn't know it themselves, right? Type of thing like that. So if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah, it does. Oh, so Rick said that Trish ghosted him um for 5 days. So I wanted to ask you something. She said that somebody wrecked a motorcycle and then her ex said she robbed his house. Like, what do you think of the excuses that she gave for not picking up the phone when
Bullshit.
for 5 days? So the first thing that I thought of was she is talking to multiple men, and maybe during those 5 days, another man came to Madagascar to see her. That's just what I
Hmm.
thought. And it was impossible for her to keep the communication open when that person was with her, right? So I'm assuming he was there for 5 days. And then when he left, she was able to reopen the communication. That's just my theory, right? Because what is the odds that they just stopped talking and then all of a sudden 5 days later she's ready to talk again? It had to be something devious.
Yeah, I would need to see a police report. I would need to see receipts.
I mean, that was a weird thing to say. Like she said her ex-boyfriend said that she robbed their house. Why would you, if that's not true, why would you say that? Because it makes it seem like you're robbing people. Like that's not necessarily a good excuse, but I guess there's never a good excuse for ghosting someone. I mean, regardless of what you say. I think I was watching a TV show back in the day, and then a girl on the show was like, the only good excuse for a guy ghosting you is that he's dead. I think that's what
Mm,
he said. And, any other excuse other than being deceased is just not a good excuse because you could have, if you weren't deceased, you could have texted back. And I kind of feel like she's right. Like if you're still alive and your fingers work and your phone works, you could have texted back.
yeah. So unless like like I find that complete utter bullshit, basically.
I mean, ghosting people is it's people's go-to when they don't know how to deal with emotion and they don't know how to break up. And I think a lot of the newer people on the planet, what do you call those? Millennials. I think they're afraid. Wait, do you call it that? Are they millennials, the younger ones?
No, I don't think so. I think we're
What
millennials.
do you
I
call
think they're
them?
like Gen Z.
Oh, the Gen Zs. The Gen Zs are really scared of confrontation. So breaking up and having difficult conversations, they're the ones that created ghosting because they just want to avoid the difficult conversations. And confrontation is just something that they're not equipped for. Our generation, we confronted people. If I could tell you how many times I got mad on the playground at school and yelled and went back and forth with people, like confrontation is not something that we're new to. It's these younger people that are scared to have confrontation with people.
Exactly. So, yeah.
All right, so was that everybody? I don't know. I got to go through my
I think so, but I sent a group chat to us, and I'm like, apparently an old castmate is supposed to make a reappearance on this new season.
What do you mean?
Elise.
Oh, we knew that.
I understand that, but she hasn't been. I was reading somewhere that she wasn't on any of like the the upcoming, right? She wasn't on featured in any of that, and she also wasn't like featured on the what's it called? She also wasn't like up until January. There's no on IMDb. There's nothing saying that she's on there.
well, I have a theory. I think that someone on the show is going to break up almost right away. And I don't want to say who I think it is, but I think you know who I think it is. I think they're going to get to the country and things are going to go south really, really fast. And they're going to break up. Kind of like how, remember Miss Debbie and Muhammad? She got to, I think it was Morocco actually, and things
Hmm.
turned extremely fast. And within like a few days, she had packed her shit and left. I think it's going to be one of those situations. And I think Elise and her guy, and I don't like again, I don't know how far their storyline is going to go, but I think they're going to be filler for that gap that's left in the show. I think that a couple that they thought was going to be popular ended up ending things early, and then she's going to be on the show with whoever she was with, some guy from Australia, I think. And that'll be a filler. And if you notice, because I think Shabuti said in the group chat, if you notice the picture of Elise and that guy, it doesn't look like they were standing next to each other. It looks photoshopped
No,
together.
it's Photoshop.
Yeah, so it's wanna make me wanna. I have questions about that. Did she actually go to Australia? Because if she was there and physically there, they would have taken those pictures. I think
Hmm.
that's the first thing that you do when you start filming is you take those introduction pictures. Where you stand next to each other and you like put your
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, you do those. So it's making me ask questions like, well, did he catfish her? Did he lie to her? Did he stand her up? Did she get there and he didn't come to the airport? Like it gave me a lot of questions about that. And again, I don't know any of that storyline. I don't know if Elise is gonna have a big part on this season, but like you said, she's gonna miss at least the first 6 episodes. She's not gonna be.
Six. Was it like it's not until like January,
So wait, are you saying 8 episodes she's not gonna be on?
up until almost January 18th.
Well, no, that would only be 6.
But still, that seems like a long time in like
Well,
TLC time and my time.
a season is like 20 episodes. So if she's
Yeah,
only,
but still.
so even if she's in like 8 episodes, she would still be like halfway in, right? Like, but again, I don't know how far her storyline is going to go. But if you notice, their promo photos didn't show her. I think in the beginning they did, and then when they started showing previews and promo photos right before the show aired, she wasn't in them anymore. And remember, this happened one time before a couple of years ago where Shida and Bilal they put them in the promo photos for Happily Ever After, a season of Happily Ever After, and then when the season aired, they never were in the season.
Mm-hmm.
That has happened once before. So I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen, but it could be that we're watching this season and she never shows up. Because that's kind of what they did with Bilal and China. They announced them, and it was around the time that she miscarried and she was having some real personal issues, and they ended up
Well,
being in.
that's kind of different, right? Like you're going through personal issues, right? So, and yeah, that was like a really smart choice on their end because, yeah, like no one wants to film while you're in pain at the same time. And yeah, no, no, no. Like, or no one wants to see you like, oh, I'm pregnant. And then, like, you're filming while you're pregnant. And then all of a sudden you're flashbacking to this or rewatching it. It's traumatizing.
Yeah, I understand that. Oh, so one other thing before we end this, or stop talking about before the 90 days at least. There's a woman on the show, and I believe her name is Lisa, and she's dating a famous singer from Belize. Am I getting this right? Um,
Was it?
I saw it in the preview for, coming in the season. Her name.
No, no. Lisa is dating this guy named Daniel from Nigeria. She was like the lesbian that was after 21 years turned straight.
Oh, okay. That actually sounds interesting too, though. But actually, a
You're
woman,
thinking of Aviva
Aviva. Okay,
and
so.
Stig or something like that.
And a lot of times they use that famous word very exaggerative on the show. Because you remember when they were like, "Oh, Usman, he's a super famous Nigerian singer." That come on now, but we got to use the word accurately. So when she said her boyfriend was a famous singer from Belize, I was like, "How famous are we talking? Like Drake famous, like underground famous that you only hear it at a nightclub if you request it? Like, what are we talking here?" Because I notice on this show, people use the famous word very loosely. Like, because a lot of people explain it as, oh, this is a famous person. I was like, how famous? If I turn on the Grammys, am I going to see them in the audience famous or like just famous to you? Right? Like, I need to know like what we're talking about. So I'm kind of interested in that because it's kind of like a remix version of, well, two different stories, Baby Girl Lisa and Usman and Kim and Usman. Like it's bringing back the rapper story, which we haven't really had in a while, right? We haven't really had that in a while.
Yeah, we haven't. So I guess we'll see. But it's the same. Like unfortunately, with TLC, it's the same storylines. Like girl from America, Muslim boy, girl from like rapper. Like what? Like I need better storylines in order to get like not to say that this cast is not a good cast so far, but yeah, you get like you can't just like have and milk off of the same storyline. You got to like be more creative, people. Come on.
I mean, yeah, it would be nice if we got all new storylines, but we can't have it all. So I don't know if you watched The Other Way or not. The Other Way came on yesterday, day before yesterday. Now I don't know what day it is anymore, and I watched it.
It's Tuesday, and yes, I did watch it.
It's Wednesday here. So weird. Like,
Wait, hold on a sec. No, it's Tuesday here because it's not midnight.
yeah, it's still Tuesday where you are. It's Wednesday where I am. Is it weird that we're talking at different dates?
Time and dates. Yeah, I know, right?
But I watched this episode and it wasn't really anything new. It was still Patia complaining that Dylan's mom isn't dead. It was like it's just the same thing over and over. And it's like I was wondering that because I was like, is she jealous of his mom? Because I don't really understand what bothers her that she calls him. Because his mom said something interesting. She's like, well, you can't just be mad at me because he calls me too. And I don't know, I've never thought about like somebody's relationship with their mom being a problem for me. Like if I'm in a relationship and the woman that I'm with is close with her mom, I would never have anything negative to say about that. Like I'm not gonna like say, well, you shouldn't spend time with your mom, you should spend time with me. I think that that's the most childish thing. It's like fighting over attention, and when you get to a certain age, you just accept the fact that everything isn't about you. right? Toddlers, they have a hard time understanding that everything isn't about them because they haven't grown up yet. They think that the whole world revolves around them. But as a 58-year-old woman, I think Patia has to understand that first of all, this man's mom is still alive, a blessing, and they're close and have a good relationship. And him having a good relationship means that a man that has a good relationship with his mom is going to treat you well because a man who knows
Exactly.
learn how to treat a woman from your mother, right? And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, the dad is supposed to teach you that too. But I think the first woman that a man learns how to talk to and understand and treat is their mom. And I think that sets the stage for the type of man they're going to become. And I think if he has a good relationship with his mom, that should be something that she would be happy about, right? Like she should appreciate the fact that he learned how to treat a woman from his mom because not every man learned that. Some men don't treat their mothers well, and you can see it based on how they treat their spouses.
Exactly. So I think like basically she thinks, I think, that just didn't make any sense, that like his mom is influencing his life choices. Like she is the barrier and the decision maker of what he does with his money and whether or not it should be spent on her by
Well,
paying off her 20,000 debt, which doesn't make any sense.
so basically, she doesn't want his mom there to tell him to make good choices.
Ex exactly.
Right? Because him not paying off her bills is what I would call making good choices. Because I'm sorry, why would he need to pay off her debt? They're not married. Like I get it, if you're married, your debt becomes each other's debt, but they're not married. And at the end of the day, she keeps saying, "Oh, well, you're the reason that I accumulated this debt." You can never blame another person for anything that you did. Like if you like she wants to make it seem like he was an accomplice in this. And she's like, "Well, it happened because of you." And it's like at the end of the day, you're responsible for you. If you ran
I would like to have the receipts to that.
Well, she's never given a real explanation as to how he forced her to spend this money. She just says, "Well, it didn't work out, so I had to live on my own." But you're a grown woman. Living on your own is not Dylan's responsibility. If you didn't work out, you can't blame the fact that you had to live on your own on him because relationships don't work out, marriages don't work out. It's still your relationship to take care of yourself after the fact. I think that she's under the impression that she's supposed to be taken care of and she's never responsible for herself. Kind of like Natalie from 90 Day Fiance, who was with Big Mike. Like she's never been her own responsibility. She's always a man's responsibility. Some man is supposed to take care of her. And maybe Patia has that same mindset where she's like, well, I shouldn't have to pay my bills. That should be some man's responsibility. And I think that's probably where she's saying that. She's like, well, you left, so I had to pay these bills. So it's your fault. And it's not. You're responsible for yourself.
Exactly. So I guess, yeah, it's just here we thought, oh, new people, this is not going to be that bad, right? Like the only like newcomers or old comers are Jenny and Sumit, and Jenny and Sumit are hardly even on it. And now like we have these new people, and it's just like, okay, these people are boring, just as boring too. Like I don't understand.
Well, the storylines are very one-dimensional and predictable, and I wish for better storylines. And watching them unfold, it's almost like it's exactly what I expected. Like Chloe and Johnny, they're looking to get married now because the partnership agreement would force her to leave and wait for I think 3 months for it to go through. And she said something really funny on the episode. She said her relationship with Johnny would not last 3 months long distance. And weren't you the one that said that that's a red flag? Somebody said on Twitter to me, they were like, that should be a huge red flag. If your relationship can't survive 90 days long distance, then what makes you think it's going to last a lifetime? And I thought that that was a really good point. Because she basically is saying if she can't be with him and he can't be with her physically in the same place, they're both going to cheat each other and their relationship will deteriorate. And I think that is a huge red flag. Like if you can't commit to someone for 3 months, being away because there are people who go away to college that are still together and they'll be at different colleges or people that move away and accept a job somewhere and they have to be separate. They're still committed to each other. Like the fact that it's impossible for her to be committed to someone unless they're close enough for her to spy on is crazy to me. Like, and I think that's the whole thing. She doesn't trust him. And she knows that if she's not there hiding in the bushes, staring through the bushes to see what he's doing, he's gonna cheat on her. And that's a massive red flag. Like, why would you even want to be with someone that you have to watch to make sure that they're not cheating on you?
Well, I always said too, right? Like, and he was actually being very mature and very adult on the conversation that they had together.
Yeah, he
If
told
you remember, right? He's just like, I don't like, kind of like, I don't think we're ready to get married.
well, that was yeah, he was not only that, but he was telling her that she's not ready to get married. And he's right. She's not ready to get. I don't think that they're both not ready to get married. To be honest with you, I don't think either of them are marriage material. I think that Johnny is too used to his lifestyle as being on his own and doing whatever he wants. And I think Chloe likes the idea of having a boyfriend, but I think or a husband, but I think the implications of that would destroy her. I don't think that she's ready to not be a brat. Like, because when you're married, it's not just about you and marrying somebody that doesn't have a lot of money. You can't be the brat that you are. Like, you're gonna have to change, and I don't think she's capable of giving up her brat lifestyle. Like, she
Well,
gets.
I also don't think that, I think he said it. He's just like, I don't think you're mature enough to handle a relationship, like a marriage.
She's not. She can barely maintain their relationship as boyfriend and girlfriend. She's hiding in bushes and spying on him. And, I think that at the end of the day, she likes the idea of a relationship or a marriage, but I don't think that she's marriage material. And I don't want to say that like ever. I just think at the point and stage in her maturity level in her life, she's not ready to get married. I think that marriage is something that you grow into and it becomes a role that you're ready to take, and she's just not there yet.
Exactly. So what I like, and she won't be there for a while. They're at different stages because you have to remember he's got a few years on her. I'm not saying it's a huge age difference, right? But he's like he's lived on his own. He like his unfortunately his mom passed away, right? But he's basically lived on his own, like knows how to like have not live in the lap of luxury, basically.
Yeah, yeah, it's not gonna last. Oh, speaking of not lasting, so 3 days after getting to the UK, Greta decided that she was no longer in love with Matthew.
This bitch. I told what I sent a tweet to Shibuti like on reply to one of his posts. I'm like, I don't know who I hate more, her or Jay Cannell. I really don't.
Well, she's only been there 3 days, Gina. And remember, yet one of the days she was crying in the kitchen. Like it's weird though because he said it's only been 3 days, and I was like, is that possible? Because I remember them going to look at a house. I remember them like meeting his parents. I remember her cooking that vegan meal that she was crying. I was like, how did all of that happen in 3 days? Because it seems like she had been there longer than that. But he said when she said she wasn't in love with him anymore, he was like, Jesus Christ, it's only been 3 days. Like, can you really have made that decision that quickly? And when it really put it in perspective to me, I was like, well, she came here to break up with him. And then she finally admitted, she said that she kind of checked out of the relationship months before she got there. Like she stopped telling him things, she stopped looking forward to their conversations, she was distant. And I was like, so what would possess you to sell all of your shit and get rid of your cat and move across the world for a person that you didn't even like anymore? Like what would possess you to do that?
I don't know. I don't like her. I really don't. I like I said, I don't know who I hate more. Like it's very hard. Like I am no I don't know who I hate more. Like
I felt bad for Matthew because he was kind
I
of
did.
right? He was kind of blindsided because he thought that she moved there because she wanted to make things work, and she also catfished him and said that she wanted kids when she really didn't. And so he was kind of blindsided. This whole 3 days was like kind of like probably every day of what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck. Like it was definitely something that he wasn't expecting, and I kind of feel bad for him. So he thought he was getting somebody that was coming over there that wanted, the same thing that he did, and he actually got somebody over there that wanted nothing to do with him at all, which I think is even more crazy.
then like what was the point of her even appearing on our screens? Like go away, go. And she's still in London or in England. This bitch has got oh, I can't. I can't with her. Like she portrays herself to be one thing and she really isn't.
I mean, she's a lady that gave up her cat, which is honestly like right now when I'm recording this with you, I have a cat laying on me right now sleeping. So the idea that somebody gave up a cat so they could leave the country to be with someone that they don't even like, it just annoys me. It just annoys me. Like, why would you do that? And she's supposed to be an animal activist, but she's just like kicking animals to the curb like they ain't shit. Like, that's crazy to me.
Right? That's why I can't there's many reasons why I can't stand her. Like she bailed out on her cat, like hasn't talked about the cat like since the showing. She's still in London or in England, Lord knows, God knows doing what. Like how can you do this? Like how like this man at first, like yeah, he was kind of like an oddball, like, wait, what? But now it's just like he grew on me. God dang, he did grow on me.
Yeah. Oh, I think, hold on. I was looking at my notes. Somebody else was on tonight. Oh, wait, maybe they weren't. But the previews for next week. So Madeline or Madeline, I don't know how you say it. She might be pregnant. Did you catch that in the previews for for next week's show?
Yes, I did.
She's throwing up and she was sick and she thinks that she might be pregnant, which I think wouldn't be great, because I feel like their relationship is very chaotic. And, bringing a child into the relationship where you're constantly throwing things at him. I don't know how healthy that would be. If it's not flowers she's hitting him with, it's cake. If it's not cake, I think she threw something else at him too, right? I can't remember what it is now. But she's always throwing things at him. So I was just like, I don't know, what would possess them to be having unprotected sex, knowing that they're in such a bad place, and then, when people do that and then they're surprised they get pregnant, that even pisses me off even more because I was like, so there was a whole health class at your school that you didn't pay attention to because people are just like, oh, we weren't trying. I was like, well, not using contraception is trying. And I don't know how to better explain it to people. I watch a lot of the teen mom shows and the unexpected and the unplanned pregnancy shows, and they always use the same excuse. They're like, we weren't trying to get pregnant, but we also weren't using anything to prevent it. And I was like, that statement doesn't make sense. Like if you're not using anything to prevent it, then you're trying. Right? Like I don't know how to explain it to people any better.
Yeah, I don't know if she's pregnant or if it was just for TV. We have to remember this is TLC we're talking about here. I she's got food poisoning.
I don't think she's pregnant. Like, I'm just gonna be real. My theory is probably closer to what you are thinking. She drank too much or she has food poisoning and she was thrown up. I just don't think that. And I know that they're still together. And, Jasmine really was trying to hide her pregnancy and she failed at it. So I think if she was pregnant, we would know because, if it comes to the 90-day world and it's something that needs to be found out, we would have figured it out by now. So I don't think that she is. I think, like you said, she probably was sick or drank too much or, whatever, nauseated. But I don't think that she's with child. And I'm not one to say who should and should not have children, but I think that Luke and Madeline have a lot of things to work on before having a kid. Like maybe get married first, but not even that. Like I don't even think that they should get married. I think that they're incompatible in every possible way. But having a kid is way, way off of their like agenda, in my opinion. Like they should learn how to have a conversation without her throwing something at him first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine if she was pregnant, like what she would do to that baby?
I would assume she would throw it at Luke. If it cried.
Yeah,
I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. I'm not saying that she would do that. I'm joking, but yeah, yeah, I don't think that she has the patience. I think that she's a little too self
childish.
yeah, childish and self-centered to have a baby. Like she's more about herself than anyone else. Kind of like Jasmine. Like the baby is more like a accessory than a person. because for some people they're just the center of attention. It's only them and they can only see them. And I think Madeline falls into that category where she's incapable of seeing anyone else's feelings or needs before her own. It's always been her. So I think if she was to have a kid, it would be harder for her to decipher between, well, what's important, me or the kid. I think that she would always pick her, because that's just where she is in her maturity level. She's the only person in her universe.
Exactly. They're self-absorbed.
Yeah, she's very self-absorbed, and I guess Jenny can't count cash change.
Mhm.
Okay, so next week, because they won on this week, Jenny and Submit are going to be back, and Jenny is going to be giving out. I guess they don't make money anymore because she's been giving people too much change because she doesn't know how. So I don't know. This has only happened to me like a handful of times in life that I went to the store and I gave someone some money and they gave me too much money. So this is my question for you, Gina. If this, first of all, has this happened to you before? Did someone ever give you too much money back?
Yes, it has.
So I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna say, okay, so it's happened to me, and I guess a judge of character question. I didn't give it back. So I was just gonna ask you, did you also keep it or did you give it back? Because I know you're Canadian and y'all are like super nice. So like I didn't, I saw that it was too much and I took it and I left. What did you do?
The thing is, I gave it back because I've worked retail before and my till has been short because of like other people using the till too. But at the end of the day, I'm responsible for that till. You know what I mean? So let's say if I'm on till, right? And whatnot, and I am processing transactions, and let's say I can't jump on that same till, but someone else does, whoever was on it the longest is responsible for that till. And that it's just a horrible feeling when your till's short.
All right, so I guess I'm a bad person because
But
I've
I've also found money outside of the bar and I pocketed $50. I'm like, oh, we're gonna have a great time tonight. Let's go.
oh,
All right.
that situation I've done. So I was actually in Tower City in Cleveland. This is years and years ago. And I was standing outside Tower City, like not outside, but like outside one of the stores. And I had my daughter with me, and she was a baby, not like a baby, like she could walk, but like small. And
Like a toddler.
yeah, like a toddler. And I had her with me, and she was walking, and I was holding her hand, and we were walking, and she was like, "Daddy, money." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I look on the ground, and there's like a 50 and two fifties and $100 bill on the ground. And so I tell her, pick it up. And she picks it up, she hands it to me, and I pick her up and we run out of the mall. And I mean when I say run, run because I didn't want anyone to like notice that we took it. So I guess I'm a bad person, Gina. I'm just gonna put it out there. I did that.
No, I found money at the mall, and then one time, like I remember one time I went to the mall and I had to do something or get something, and I found like $20 on the floor. But then after, like, because I was going to attend mass after going to the mall, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm a freaking horrible person. Like, because I'm like, customer service would just pocket the money, right? Obviously, if I was to hand it in. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to pocket this. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to hell. I'm going to go to hell. I'm going to go to hell. I'm like, okay, nope, we're not
No,
doing this.
you're
And
not.
So,
And one time
so
I was
what I did was I ended up donating the same amount that I found to the food bank.
oh, well, aren't you just a little saint? Well,
No, I am not. If I wasn't going to church right after the mall trip, I would have pocketed it and not done anything. But I was like, it started to like eat away at me. Like, oh my God,
I'm
I'm going to the house of God, and I just like stole money off the
first of all,
floor.
you can't steal money from the ground because the ground isn't a person. But I'm a finders, keepers, losers, weepers guy. So if it's on the ground, it doesn't belong to anyone. I can't steal from the ground. The ground is not a person. So And also in a Walmart parking lot, I found two $20 bills, which
Yeah,
I
like
went into the Walmart and spent on myself.
my my dad, after I met my parents at church, I told them what happened. My dad's like, "Are you stupid and crazy? Right? What's wrong with you? Like I didn't raise no fool, but clearly you're the fool."
Well, what did
I'm
he
like,
mean?
"Thanks." Well, because I had like donated the money because I was just like, "Oh yeah, I don't like I just couldn't like live with myself. I donated the money."
Oh, yeah, I agree with your dad. Like that was stupid. And I could live with myself. Like I have no like you know how people ask you like how do you sleep at night? I would sleep like a baby after taking that money. Like I could totally live with myself. It would not bother. I wouldn't even lose like 15 minutes. Like you know how some people have guilt? I wouldn't even have any. The first thing I would think is what I was gonna buy myself. Like I would not have had that issue. That was just an issue that you had. Like I would have
That was just an issue that I had because I was attending mass right after, or else I wouldn't have
Yeah,
cared.
I went to church 7 days a week for most of my life, and if I found $100 on the ground, that is my money. Like I don't care. Like I am not holier than nobody or whatever. It was mine, and I will fight you for it. Like I have no conscience when it comes to ground money because the ground is not a person. You can't steal from the ground.
But my mom's just like, "Oh, you did a good thing. It's okay." Right? But my dad's like, "You're dumb."
Yeah, I'm team dad with this because there was nothing wrong with keeping it. Right.
That's what he said.
Well, you have to look at it like, when something good happens and people are like, oh, look at God helping me out. That's because you should have said God was handing you the money. That's what you should have said. It would have made you feel better. Like, that's how I look at it. I was like, oh, I was just saying how I was struggling. And then, oh, look, God just handed me some cash. That's how I would look at it. But I don't
So,
need any justifications. I'm going to take,
if
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to take it anyway. I'm just saying if I needed any, that would have been it.
you needed any signs, it's like, "Oh, it's a blessing in disguise. Here I go."
Yeah, but I didn't need any what do you call it? I didn't need anyone to coach me into sleeping better about it because I wasn't gonna feel bad. Like I'm not gonna feel bad. I mean, I guess I'm a bad person, but I'm fine with it. Like I'm not. I never said I was perfect, and I think there's no such thing as a perfect person anyway. So it would be stupid for me to even say that. Like, but yeah, I have no. I don't want to say I have no conscience. I do have a conscience, but not for ground money. Not for that.
Mm, But besides that, those two times, like that time, I'm just like, yeah, no. But poor Jenny. But seriously, I understand if they can't afford a cash register. But at the end of the day, like you have a phone, use the
Well, how can they
calculator.
like I'm confused. How can they not afford a cash register? Like, but you can afford all that equipment to use.
I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm just justifying, okay? Like I'm not saying they
Doesn't make
can't afford it.
doesn't make sense. And a cash register, I don't know if you've been to like I don't remember who used to sell them back in the day, Sam's Club or Costco, but you could buy as your cash register for $249. You ever seen them there? Because I used to tell
Yeah, Costco Business Center, they have everything there.
yeah, I used to tell my mom, like, Mom, I want a cash register. And she would be like, for what? And I didn't have an answer. I just wanted one, but they sold them there at Costco. And I was just like, can we get one? They have cash registers. And she would just always hit me with what exactly would you do with it? Because you don't need that. And I couldn't justify it. I just knew I wanted it.
Well, she's not wrong.
Well, no, she was usually right. I just wanted it. You know how when you're younger, you want things that make no sense. Like I wanted a lot of things that
Mm.
the answer was, what the hell would you do with that? But that was just because I was young and stupid. But yeah, I'm just saying
So,
cash registers aren't that expensive and they tell you exactly what to give people. But like you said, your phone does too. So like even if you didn't have a cash register, you could use your calculator app on your phone to make change. But I don't know. I used to work retail. My first job ever in the whole wide world, I worked at this place called Mark's. It was a grocery store in Ohio, and I was a cash register guy. What do you call those? A cashier. And the funny part is, it was when this happened, cash register jobs were for girls. So I got interviewed for the job, right? I remember I was in the 10th grade And I got interviewed for the job. Nope, I lied. I was in the 11th grade. And after the interview, the lady was like, "You got the job." She was like, "You'll be pushing carts or whatever." And I was like, "Nah, I ain't pushing carts. I'm too cute for that." So I didn't want the job. So I turned the job down. And then I got back home to my house. And the lady called the house. When I walked in the house, actually, um, she was on the phone with my aunt. And she was trying to get a hold of me. And she was like, "Tell him that I have a cashier job for him," but she's like, "I didn't offer that to him because no boy has ever been a cashier here before or whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do that." And I was really good at it because I remember every time the lady who counted the registers at the end of the night would come out, she would be like, "Your cash register balances to zero every time you work." And I was like, "Is that good?" And she was like, "No one is ever perfect with their money." But she was like, "Your cash register balances to zero every night." And then I don't even think I was a cashier that long. I think after a few months, they put me at customer service. And then after that, I was some sort of manager. But I was really good at making change though, because everybody, like all the managers were like, they put me in charge of like, I don't remember what the job was, but I was in charge of the cashiers where you give them change and you make change for the cashiers. I had that job. So when Jenny said that she was not having a hard time counting money, I was like, see, I never had that issue. When it comes to money, that's the only language I speak. Like that's the only language I speak. Like if it's money, you ain't never gonna get over on me because I speak that. That's like a foreign language that I'm fluent in.
Yeah, but what can she do? She can't cook. She can't clean. She can't do anything. Make it make sense. Like what is wrong
Well,
with you?
in her defense, she should be retired. She shouldn't be doing anything. That's like her defense. Like at her age, she shouldn't be doing anything at all. Like, so I don't get mad at her for not being good at things because she's not supposed to be doing anything. She's old and she should be living out her best life and, being retired and laying in bed and drinking coffee or whatever old people drink. I don't know. Like, she shouldn't, whatever she's doing now, it's too much for her age. She shouldn't be trying to work in a cafe 7 days a week. She's retired. And, I know that people are like, "Oh, she should be better at things." It's like, but maybe she was better at things like 30 years ago. And now she's just past her prime. Like how that they say you can't teach somebody who's been doing, what do they say? Somebody who's been doing it.
Don't teach a dog new
Well,
tricks.
yeah, I didn't want to call her a dog though. But like, if you
No, no, I'm not saying, I'm
like,
like metaphorically, like it's
well,
just the
yeah.
phrase that they
If
say.
you're a person that's worked at a job for 40 years and then the company does a restructuring, you're probably going to have to lay off that person who's been there for 40 years because there's no way they're going to be able to learn a new way of doing that job because they've been there for 40 years. They've been doing it the same way the whole time. You're just going to have to force them into retirement. You're not going to be able to restructure the company with them because they'll never do it. They're stuck in their ways. And I feel like that's how I feel about Jenny. She's made it so far in life doing things a certain way and she retired. Like trying to teach her new skills at this point is a waste of time.
Agreed. Totally agreed. Sorry, Jenny, but at the same time, it's a family business, right? Like you didn't want to meet working because he's like at the other place because it was too much for him, and not he wasn't spending enough time for you. You're just going to age him to the same age bracket as you.
Well, somebody has to work. That's what I be telling people. I was like, y'all can't just be looking in each other's face all day. Somebody got to go to work.
Well,
Like,
that's what you wanted him to do.
well, she wants, but that's the thing though. She's kind of like, who's that person that was like, "I want you to get a job," and then when the person got a job, they complained that they were never there. I can't remember which cast member that was now,
It
but
was Jenny.
did he? Okay, yeah. So that's what a lot of people think. They think, "Oh, I want you to get a job so we can do better." And then when the person gets the job, they realize that it takes up all their time. They realize they don't actually want the person to have a job because they don't want to compromise the time. And it's like you can't have the best of both worlds. You can't just sit around the house and look at each other all day. Somebody has to make money. Like that's just how the world works. Life works that way. Somebody has to work. So I think a lot of women are confused because they're like, "Oh, you work too much. I never see you. You should make time for me." But at the end of the day, somebody got to go to work, right? Like, because
Exactly.
you can't just sit around and look at each other. And because money doesn't grow on trees and it doesn't fall out of the sky. So somebody is going to have to go and donate their time to a job and make money, right? Like, that's just part of life.
Like, I don't know.
Well, the cafe is non-existent anymore, so I'm assuming they're off to their next business venture because we talked about on the other podcast that cafe is already another business. It's already rebranded as something else.
Yeah,
Which
I tried to find it
is
on
probably
like maps, Google Maps, and I couldn't find it.
it's probably a good thing though, because I didn't really want to eat anywhere where they slosh cow urine everywhere. Like it
Well,
does,
I also did say that it was probably just a pop-up
I mean,
in true TLC fashion.
it could have been like Made Beauty.
Yeah.
It was a pop-up, and or if we want to go back real far, remember Nicole and Azen's clothing store? It was such a pop-up, it didn't even.
Or or like the makeshift like what beauty pageant at the Holiday Inn or the Darcy and Stacy fashion show in the hallway of a hotel.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. You're right. TLC is big for making up fake events for their cast members. You're onto something there. Instead of
Mm,
sponsoring them and putting them in real pageants and real fashion shows, they just create fake ones for them, which is even more crazy.
exactly. Like you pay everybody else, like, or you just grab people on the street, like, hey, do you want to show up for this free event? Right? Like you'll be on TV, it's exposure, and like who's gonna like no one's gonna turn that down.
Well, no, I will show up anywhere where people are looking at me and taking pictures of me. Like I will show up.
Exactly.
I'll be there.
Exactly.
You want to put me on TV? Say less.
Uh,
Say
Like,
less.
what do I have to do? Okay, you got it.
Yeah,
So,
I got you. Don't even ask. I'll be there. Say less. All right, so we're gonna wrap and then we're gonna be back. We'll probably do a pop culture podcast this weekend. At some point because it's been a while since we've done that, and we're gonna talk Diddy documentary, which Gina and I watched. Gina, you watched that, right?
of course I
There's
did.
a lot
I
of stuff I want to talk about with the Diddy documentary. And then that David trial, they've been questioning some people. I think the head of David's touring company was questioned by a grand jury the other day. So there's been some developments in that story that we talked about it weeks, oh my God, probably months ago now. So
months ago.
yeah, we'll talk about some developments in that. And then I think the Backstreet Boy Brian is suing another person for walking on the beach by his house. Saw that. So we'll be talking about that. There's something else that I think we were going to talk about in pop culture too, but we'll talk about that this coming sometime this week or this weekend. It's been a weird time. The news has been disturbing and strange lately, so we'll get into some of that stuff. And I wanted to get into the Luigi Mangione case. I haven't really talked about it, but I guess the case has been going on, so I wanted to talk to you about some of the stuff that I heard about the case and get your opinion on that too.
Yeah, we'll have to do because I haven't really been up to date like on that aspect with like the Luigi Mangione. Like I haven't been like I just read sometimes or TMZ or whatnot, so I haven't been really up to date on that. But I will have to do some research upon that, right? To see what's going on. Same thing with the David. I haven't really heard or seen anything, so I will have to do some research on that of what's going on with that. So, but regardless, I'm sure it'll be interesting and I'll be like, oh, I told you, right? Like I said before with the David trial, I'm like, person's only guilty once it's been proven, and they probably need to collect more evidence and more evidence. So,
Well, the
yeah,
grand jury is interviewing people. And when someone is indicted, they're usually indicted by a grand jury, meaning that you have to convince all of the people on that grand jury that this person did this in order to bring charges. So that's the stage that they're at now. So they've been interviewing people to try to
wait, where is this taking place? This
so
grand jury
it's in
selection?
California. It's in
Oh,
California.
it's in California. Okay, never mind. Because I had emailed one of our vendors for my work, and they're on jury duty, but I think they're located in Michigan.
Oh yeah, they're not.
Radio, Ohio. Oh, like it's somewhere in the like east. So I'm like, wait, can there be like two ties to this? But it's weird because he said the person's email said, and I don't know, basically jury duty here means like you don't, if it's a high profile case, you can't have access to like, I don't think you can have access to your mobile devices or emails or whatever, but I don't know how that works in the States though, if it's the same thing.
Not all cases are like that. And that's called
Yeah.
jury sequestering, I believe. It's where you can't watch TV or have your phone.
Yes.
Call it
Yeah.
sequestering. They do that for certain cases. Um,
That's why I said high profile,
yeah. It's just so you're not,
influenced by
yeah,
the outside world
influenced
type
by
of thing
things
like
that
that.
might not be factual. But, the grand jury is just who does the indictment. The grand jury wouldn't be the jury that listens to the case. The grand jury are the people that decide if they want to charge this person with that crime. So that's kind of what they're doing. Those grand jury, they're not like, I don't want to say they're not like regular 12 people, but those are people who listen to police reports and decide how to charge people. Like
How to proceed further. Yeah, got it. Okay.
a
Yeah,
little.
just the judicial system works differently, I believe, here, right? So that's why. Okay. Well, I've got some homework to do then to catch up on what you know. So,
Well, you know me, I'm a knowledge head. I like to know things that aren't going to ever help me in life. I just want to know. So,
yeah,
no.
except for geography, not.
Well, how would that help me? I could just tell the airline where I want to go and they'll take me. I don't need to know where. Why would I ever need to know where it is? I'm not flying the plane. Like, why would I ever need to know where it physically is? I just tell the people at the airport or the airline where I want to go, and then they tell me get on this plane and you'll go there. That's the only information I would ever need.
Yeah, just don't like there's a Paris, Texas, and then there's a Paris, France. Don't make that choice.
Well, I'm pretty sure I don't want to go to Paris, Texas. I mean, I'm not saying I don't. I know what's there, but I probably don't want to go.
Yeah, wouldn't blame you. And remember, Vancouver has two, like Vancouver, Canada, and then there's Vancouver, Washington, where Laura is from. I don't think you want to go to Vancouver, Washington.
I don't think I knew that. I don't think that there was two Vancouvers. So yeah, that's good information. See, that's the type of information I like to have. Useless information. All right, guys. I'm sorry again that it's been almost a month. Someone DM'd me and said it's been almost a month since we recorded a podcast, and that's horrible. And I'm sorry. And we'll get back on it. I promise. Thanks for listening. Thank you to Gina for joining. And this has been fun, right? And we'll get
It has been. We've caught up. We've talked about personal stuff. We've talked about both shows. This has been an epic episode.
yeah, it's been good. It's been fun. And we'll be back soon with the pop culture, and then we'll be back for more before the 90 days. And whatever that entails, I'm excited about. So everybody have a good week. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. And it's Christmas time, so don't be like me. I haven't purchased one Christmas present yet. Don't be like me. Be better than me. Because I hope y'all have already started because I haven't. So if you haven't, get on it because I'm behind. All right, guys. We'll talk to
Yes.
y'all really soon.
Bye.
Bye.